Hello everybody, welcome back to the second episode of the Coding Cat series, where I teach ordinary people how to code. So, in this video, we're going to discuss numbers and booleans, as well as calculations. So, just logic. So, let's add another script to our server script service. For convenience, let's name them. We will name this script episode 1, and we will name this script episode 2. Now for episode 2, as I said, I'm going to teach you about logic. Do you remember the game True or False? That's not a game. The thing is, on those tests, okay, so you know on those tests that you take, the questions are true or false. Yeah, well that exists in Roblox. Or at least in Luel. So, true and false are kind of self-explanatory. If I wanted to get the parts, if I want to summon a part, because we don't have a part, actually, I'll just use the spawn location. So I'll say, local spawn location equals game.workspace.spawn location. We covered variables in our first episode. So now we are going to see if it exists. So if spawn location equals true, then print hello. So let's see what's in the output. Okay, that is strange. But you see what I'm doing. For example, if you see what I'm doing. I hope you see what I'm doing, because I don't know what to tell you guys other than I don't know how to explain to you guys without using something that you guys haven't learned yet. Oh, I have a really good idea actually. So let's create a part and let's put it way up here. We're gonna set it to anchored so it will not move. So we are gonna change the variable to parts. And we're gonna make it the part we just summoned, part. Now you see properties. I'm going briefly into properties. Everything here is a property. The reflectance is a property. The transparency is a property. All of this is a property. Some of these properties are numbers, some of these are strings, and some of these are just logic operators. If it has a little checkbox right here, then that's logic. It's true or false. So, as you can see right here, as you cannot see right here, anchored has the little check mark, which means it's true. But what if I don't want it to be anchored anymore? What if I want part.anchored to equal false? So see what this is gonna do, it's gonna uncheck the anchored box while we're in the game. See, it fell to the ground. I could have died right there. Thank goodness it did not hit my head. But there's more than just false, there's also true. So for example, we have an unanchored part. Let's unanchor this part, and then let's play. See, it's not falling down, because even though it's unanchored when we start the game, the script makes it anchored because we set anchored equals true. Now, here's the third one that I find quite strange. We're gonna talk about nil very briefly. Nil is just a way of saying, hey, this does not exist. So let's say I want a part that does not exist, like local part2 equals game.workspace. Let's just imagine we have a part that we don't have a part called ABC, and we don't want attribute change. And then we want to put if part2, then I have not taught that to you guys. So we're going to use the print function again, and we're going to put part2. And you're going to see that this does not work. I guess what I'm trying to explain to you is that nil says that things do not exist. If something comes out as nil, it does not exist. If I had a part, and I wanted to destroy it, I don't know why this is set up the way it is. Okay, so if I have a part and I destroy it, it is officially nil. It no longer exists. The game is not going to hold data for that part because it no longer exists. There's no point in keeping data for a part that doesn't exist. So next I'm going to talk to you about just basic calculations. So we all know numbers. So let's set, we all know numbers, we learned them. So let's say local number equals 1. You could also just put 1 plus 1, but, you know, I don't want to do that. I want to do a variable. So let's say local outputs equals number plus 1. And then we want to print the outputs. Let's open our outputs, and then let's see. See, right here, it says 2. So now, let's make it a bit different. Let's make this 2. We do not have to use the variable, I just wanted to use the variable for that example. See, it says 3. And you know what? We don't even have to make this equation a variable. We could just print 2 plus 1. And we get 3. You know, stop bonking me in the head. But as you may know, there's more than just addition. There's also subtraction. So let's print 2 minus 1. And you see, it is not working because I deleted a part that was in our scripts. The thing about Lua is that if one thing fails in the script, the entire script fails. And because we no longer have that part, let's just get rid of it. So now we see right here it prints 1. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. But there's also more than subtraction, there's also multiplication. And you may think you just put x, but no, that's not how you do it. If you put print 2x1, you're gonna get an error. What you want to put is an asterisk. But to get an asterisk, you just press Shift X. No, not Shift X, Shift A. So you see, 2 times 1 equals 2. Now let's make it actually a bit noticeable. So 2 times 10 equals 20. But there's still more. There is division. Now you may think that division is percentage, but no, that's a mistake I made. It's actually this guy. I believe it is this guy. No, it is not. It's actually this guy. So 2 divided by 10 equals 0.2. Let's make it a bit simpler. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So there are other ones. And, yeah, there are other ones. Alright, so here is something else I want to teach you. Let's say local output equals 1 plus 2. But let's say, and that's going to come out as a number, but what if we don't want that to be a number? What if we want it to be a string? There is a difference between a number and a string. Like I said before, if it's in quotation marks, it's a string. If it's not in quotation marks, sometimes it's not a number. Most times it's not going to be a number. But if it's a number and it's not in quotation marks, then it's a number. And there is a difference between the two. For example, let's say local number equals parenthesis, no, not parenthesis, quotation mark 5. This is a string. Now let's say local equation equals number minus 2. We are subtracting a number from a string. This is not going to work. It just isn't. It doesn't work like that. You can't subtract. You can't do anything to a string. It's just a string. It's not a number. What you want to do is get rid of the quotation marks around it. But what if you wanted to be like, what if you wanted to become a string? Like in chat, you wanted to say like however many numbers, like I just won $1 trillion or something. Well, if you wanted to do something like that, then you would use a special command called toString. And you would just take two, and then you would just do this. And then let's say we want to print equation. We will get 3. So here's the special thing. toString takes any number and turns it into a string, hence the name toString. But there is also a toNumber version. 2number isn't normally used as much as toString, but it is used very rarely, but it is used. So let's say our equation is actually, let's say our equation is 1 minus 2. This is a string, but let's say we want to turn it into a number for whatever reason. We would say 2number equation, and then we would print that equation. And now in the output we get 1 minus 2. This is a string. I don't know why it isn't turning into a number. But, essentially, 2number is not as used as much as toString. As long as you know toString, then you should be fine. 2number essentially works the same way, it just turns a number, no, it turns a string into a number. Final thing I think I should be showing to you is the comparisons. I wouldn't be able to show you all of the comparisons because that's something we're going to get into in future videos, but I will be able to show you a great number of them. So let's say 1 is greater than 2, which isn't true, but let's just pretend it is for now. Let's print 1 is greater than 2. You see, Roblox, programming languages are smart. They're not going to fall for this. This is false. This is false, and it knows it's false. It's going to print false because it is untrue. But now let's flip it around. Let's say 2 is greater than 1. It's true. Roblox, pretty much all scripting languages are smart. They know that this is correct. But now let's say, I'm going to show you this one really cool thing. Just equals. And also, I don't think that's how you do it. I think it's 2 equal sign. Yeah, that is 2 equal sign. It's weird, but I'll get to it in future videos. See, 1 does not equal 2. It is false. The game does not believe you. It's calling you a liar and is calling your equation false. And now, I'm going to show you is not equal to. So most of the time when you imagine not equal to, you just imagine an equal sign with a slash into it. Roblox does that. Lua does not do that. This is how you do not equal to. And it's true, because 1 does not equal 2. So now it is praising you, and it says your equation is correct. But there's also greater than or equal to. More complex, but almost exactly the same as greater than. So it's greater than, but then there's also an equal sign. And then let's have, I don't know, 0.5. This is true. 1 is greater than or equal to 0.5. 1 is not equal to, but it is greater than. And so as long as you have equal to or greater than, it will count even if it's 0.5. So let's replace 1 with the 0.5. This is still going to print true because it says equal to or greater than. So as long as it's equal to or greater than 0.5, it is going to print true. And now I'm going to talk to you about less than or equal to. This guy is very happy. This guy right here, he's very, very happy. Less than or equal to, it's going to print true. If I make it 1, however, if I make it 1, it's false. Because 1 is not equal to or less than 0.5. It's not. The game is calling you a liar because you lied and your equation is false. And now, that's it. That's all there is. Except I should show you 0.4. This is going to print true because 0.4 is not equal to 0.5, but it is less than 0.5. So as long as it's equal to or less than 0.5, it's going to print true. I hope you learned something today, because if you did learn something, then I did my job successfully. Even if you learned that I'm terrible at making metaphors, then, I did my job. Goodbye.